Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Streaming around the world, it's the In Wheel Time car talk show, and just ahead, we're going to talk with Brad Thompson from God's Garage about the Zekin donation and other holiday car donations. Plus, we'll have the upcoming events calendar. Mr. Mars reviews the new Ford F-350 Dually Bigaboy. And I want to say howdy and a Merry Christmas to you, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks so much for joining on this Saturday. How's your Christmas shopping going? Oh my God, it has been nuts. Mm-hmm. Traffic, terrible.
You know, and that's from the traffic guy.
Mm-hmm. I went with Leslie 2 days ago. We did a little afternoon Christmas shopping. It kind of parlayed into afternoon drive. Didn't get on the freeway because we were already out here, and went to a shopping center. Oh, I don't know, probably from this house at the most 3 or 4 miles. Mm. I've never been there, actually. I went to eat at one of the restaurants there one time on a Saturday afternoon. Mm-hmm. No big deal. But it wasn't Christmas shopping season.
Whatever, yeah.
There's a Costco in this complex of stuff. Mm-hmm. Ugly, nasty traffic. People were honking, and then one person would honk, and then somebody else would honk, and then they all started honking together. It was beautiful. It was a symphony.
It's kind of like geese flying north. They all get in a row and honk at each other.
Pretty much. It was lots of fun. I have to tell you, and we talked about this in our preview a few minutes ago, I have got more recalls that I think that I have ever had on this show.
Than you can recall?
That I can recall.
Yeah.
Yep. It's truly amazing. So if your car isn't in it, you're one of the few. And it will be.
Well, with the recalls, we could call it the Prevagen segment.
Oh.
Recalling all of them.
Thank you, Jeff.
Maybe we could get them to sponsor that segment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe so.
Oh, good idea.
Mm-hmm. Can you remember?
Forget about it.
What? Remember what?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Remember? I don't
Sponsored
remember.
by Prevagen, I think.
So we still don't have Brad?
Or Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah.
Mr. Mars, we don't have Brad?
No. I'm wondering where he's at.
Well, he's probably in bed, would be my guess. After a wild night of partying that he does.
Brad does that party.
We've heard this. Yeah, we've heard these rumors about Brad before. All right. Well, speaking of recalls, I'm going to sprinkle these throughout the show today because I've got so many. American Honda Motor Company is recalling more than 2.5 million Honda and Acura vehicles in the U.S. for a fuel pump defect that could cause the engine to stall while driving. The cars involved were built between 2017 and 2020. Honda said the fuel pump impeller in those vehicles was improperly molded, according to a recall report submitted Monday to NHTSA. Earlier this week, Honda recalled more than 100,000 CR-V hybrid vehicles from 20 to 22 model years because of a missing fuse in the 12-volt battery cable that could cause the battery to overheat, increasing the risk of a fire or injury.
See, they should have made them in Texas, because anything gets a little wet in Texas and you leave it outside, it all gets moldy.
Exactly.
Humidity, yeah.
Hardy har har. Mm-hmm. I got it. Nobody else did.
Nobody else cared.
Toyota Motor North America on Wednesday said it was recalling about 1.1 million Toyota and Lexus models globally for malfunctioning sensors that could prevent airbags from deploying in a crash. So the airbag
means the Takata can't kill you.
Yeah, well, that's true. There's so many issues with the airbags. Airbags have been around forever, it seems.
87-ish.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, in the past 3 or 4 years, it's become a nightmare for manufacturers, Takata mainly. Mm-hmm. So there are so many different models. I mean, mainly 20 to 22 models of everything. Just name it. So the best thing I can suggest, instead of me boring you with all the different models, is go to safercar.gov.
Look it up.
and plug in your VIN number.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't have that. Yeah, you do.
It's on your insurance card.
It's on your insurance card, or you can go and find it right there in the top of your dashboard.
Mm-hmm. Or if you open up the driver's door, there's usually a couple of placards on
or
there.
memorize it.
To fix the defect, dealers will inspect the sensors and replace them as necessary.
Well, that's unusual, Toyota and Honda, with those big recalls, because, you know, they build a pretty high quality
And you know, it
car.
used to be when you hear of a recall, you think, oh, man, that's bad. Now, it's I could weigh them. They're so heavy with the paper this morning. BMW, 2023 models. Ready? The Series 3, 4, 5, 8, and the Series X, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the Z4, and the Toyota Supra, all model years 2023. Transmission gears may seize.
That's not good.
Ooh.
Honey, did you put the brakes on that hard? No. Transmission's all locked up.
Get out and push.
Even Lamborghini can't avoid this. 2015 to 2024, incorrectly adjusted headlights. That's a recall.
Oh, my.
Get out there with the screwdriver and do it yourself.
Yep.
Make sure you point them right up into the rearview mirror of the car, because that's all I get these days. Volvo, second row seatbelt buckle not tightened properly. So for the Volvo XC90 2015
The safest cars on the road.
2015 through 2024. You'd have thought they'd have caught that by now, don't you?
Believe me, they don't.
No, they didn't catch it because it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't catch.
Side curtain airbags may deploy unexpectedly on the Kia Motor Soul and Seltos 23 and 24.
Well, that'll widen your eyes if all of a sudden they pop out.
Yeah, most definitely. Improperly secured 12-volt ground connection on
Chevy
the
truck.
Mercedes-Benz GLE 350 and 450 for 21 and 22 model years.
Try finding that. Try
Yeah,
tracking
really.
that electrical problem down.
Ford generated the most U.S. recalls of any other manufacturer.
Well, and when you build the most vehicles, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's a percentage.
Yeah.
Well, the most vehicles in the United States, anyway. Through December 18th, Ford issued 54 recalls, affecting nearly 5.7 million vehicles in the U.S. this year. However, that's down about 21% from the number of recalls issued in 2022.
They're getting better.
When the automaker reported 68 recalls affecting more than 8.7 million vehicles.
You know, and the funny thing is, with that, probably less than half of them ever get fixed.
Yeah.
Get done.
Yep.
For an assortment of reasons. And I know we need to get some state legislator on to talk about that, because I know there's been conversations in the state of Texas about every used car operator needs to run a recall scan of the vehicle that they get in, and they can't sell the vehicle unless the recall's done. And for some reason, somebody out there doesn't want to do that, so it never passes the state legislature. But it makes sense. And to me, it would make sense as a used car operator to get those things done for the people that you're selling vehicles to, even if you needed to
It's a selling
advertise the
point.
fact. Yeah.
Well,
It's
it's
a
a
selling
selling point, but I can also see where they'd be scared that's a liability.
Well, you'd think so.
Well, the
because-
liability is not doing it and having had it
but
in
if
your possession.
you don't know it's broke, then you may not be able to
Broken,
be
yes.
held liable
true.
to fix it.
It should be considered to work towards a peace of mind that it
Right.
doesn't.
Well, I agree. I mean, it would be a positive selling point, I would think, and for the public safety, it absolutely should happen. I just think that's the fight.
It's a feature and a benefit.
And again, it comes down to some recalls are safety recalls, some recalls are compliance recalls. You know, the difference is some can kill you, some just they didn't follow the rules, and that's the compliance recall.
Of the U.S. recalls Ford issued this year through December 18th, the largest involved a callback of nearly 1.3 million older model Fusion
Oh, boy.
and Lincoln MKZ vehicles for rupturing front brake hoses. I remember reading about that to everybody.
She took that in for a recall.
There you go. While Ford topped the chart with total number of recalls issued in 2023, Tesla issued the largest vehicle recall of the year.
All of them.
Investigation into the electric vehicle maker's autopilot driver assist system software recall in more than 2 million Tesla vehicles.
Yeah, well, we talked about that with you last night, that it's a download feature. It doesn't have to be brought into the service center.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, my buddy that I work with that has a Tesla, he said, yeah, I've gotten 3 updates, because it tells you that it's gotten them over the past, I don't know, 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Wow.
Lots of them.
And some of that is they're downloading a repair into the vehicle. Some of it may be they're extracting data from the vehicle as well. You know, that's a bi-directional communication. Tesla has access to those vehicles, so they can quiz the car as far as what's going on, besides just jumping in and making a software update.
And this guy that owns this one, he says, I rarely use it. He goes to San Antonio to visit his family quite frequently, and he will use it every once in a while once he gets out on I-10.
The auto drive feature?
Yeah, autopilot, I think they call it. At any rate, well, let's jump into our guest this hour, because...
Speaking of autopilot?
Yeah, because he was on Auto Snooze Pilot this morning, apparently.
Well, he was saying that Stan Leon's got an internet problem. That was what his story.
That was the excuse.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because he's out there. Yeah.
Stan Leon.
Yeah, I think he's about moved out there, haven't you, Brad?
Pretty close, yeah. We're getting pretty close.
Good for you.
Well, that's a good excuse, and we'll go ahead and accept it this time. But okay, fine. Hey, do you know our friend Tim Spell?
I do not.
Tim Spell was a writer for the Houston Chronicle for decades, auto writer, and you guys need to get you'd love Tim and his wife. They live down there.
Oh, neat. Yeah. Well, it can't be too far away.
No, exactly, that's exactly right.
Yeah, San Leon isn't that big.
The thriving metropolis down there. Well, Brad, Merry Christmas to you. It's good to see you.
Yeah, to you guys too. Sorry about the tardiness here.
It's all right.
You know.
So,
I'll take my beating later.
So, Brad, if you're not familiar with Brad and God's Garage, why don't you explain it, because you can explain it better than I can. What is God's Garage, and what does God's Garage do?
So God's Garage is a 501c3 nonprofit. We're up in Conroe. We take in donated vehicles, whether they run or not. We get them as roadworthy as possible. We have them inspected by an individual third-party inspector. And then we give them away to single moms, widows, and wives of deployed military. We also fix vehicles for that same group. If they have their own vehicle that has an issue, they can apply online at godsgarage.org. Or if you have a vehicle to donate, you can do the same thing as Mr. Zeke and his wife did. And we will come get your vehicle. You can schedule it right there online. And then if you want, and your vehicle is salvageable and repairable, and well, not salvageable, that's a different track. But if it's repairable and can be roadworthy and safe, we'll actually ask you to come be part of the giveaway if we get to that point.
So how long has God's Garage been around?
We have been doing this since 2010. We've been a formal 501c3 since 2016. We have, over the last several years, really tried to up our kind of credibility to the kind of the layman who's looking for a good organization to support. We're Gold Star. Well, they don't call it that now. There's several different certifications, but we have the top level, the platinum certification
Very
for
good.
financial responsibility and stewardship. So yeah, it's a awesome organization. I'm the board chairman. I'm a volunteer. All of our board members are volunteers. I'll pass the torch at sometime soon, maybe, to not be the board chair anymore. Justin Coggins is our executive director, doing a great job, and we just have a massive amount of participation. I think last year we had over 125 different volunteers. And we have up in Conroe, we have a 6-bay garage, I guess 7 technically if you count our wash bay.
Which is new.
Which is brand new. We moved into it not even a year ago, actually. We moved into it in late January of this year, of 2023. and still going through the growing pains of figuring out how to manage a 6-bay garage, because it's a lot easier to manage 2 bays because you don't really have any choices, right? So once you get 6 of them, it becomes a whole different challenge. We've got a ton of vehicles on site right now. Jeff's wife's car is actually awaiting a transplant. You guys were right, Jeff. Cylinder 1, 0 psi. So you had that right. You had a cylinder that's down. I don't think they've actually checked to see if it burned a hole in the piston or what actually happened to inside the cylinder, but we know we checked all of that.
Very good.
So what's the next step then? You're going to transplant. You're going to find a used engine, I assume, somewhere, and put it in the car because you feel that the car is nice enough that it's worthy of engine transplant.
Yeah, so I mean, it was 2013 Fusion in great shape. I actually had a 2013 Fusion. Really liked that car, but is in awesome shape. And when I say awesome shape, I'm talking about just the livability of the vehicle. But we're hopefully we can take in another 2013 that has some life left on the engine and do a straight swap. If not, we'll end up doing. Possibly, depends on the degree of difficulty, but sometimes we go to the auction and we find a 2013 that's trashed, maybe been in a wreck, but the engine's still good.
Right, you'd mentioned that.
And we'll buy that car, and then we'll turn around and swap out the engine, and then we'll take that car back to the auction and
scrap it.
The auction, yeah, the auction's nice enough that they don't charge us auction fees when we sell, so that's a big deal for us. There's no real cost to do that, and one of their record drivers actually does a lot of stuff for us just on his own dime and own nickel, so he'll run it back and forth for us. They're only 5 miles away from the garage. I think it's called America's Auto Auction up there on 3083 up in Conroe, but yeah, it's really close.
She's taking care of that car. That car's never been to a car wash. The car's always been hand washed and hand vacuumed and
it
everything.
Shows.
Yeah.
It shows. We hate to see cars like that come in where they've got catastrophic engine problems and we can't just easily flip it. We don't hate to see them come in like that. We hate them that they're in such good shape that we can't just turn around and give them away. But man, that's one worth putting on the transplant list for sure.
Well, she'll be pleased.
How do you determine the value of the car that you can tell the owner so they can get the tax rewards?
It's not quite as easy as just how do you do it. I mean, the owner can claim the vehicle's worth by going on to any of the regular sites and saying, this is my vehicle and we don't actually tell them what that value is. We let them determine that between themselves and their tax consultant.
Their conscience.
Right.
Yeah. We give them a certificate that says they donated it to us for free. Which puts the onus of determining the value on them.
I'm thinking like it's $12 billion.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. God's Garage is a faith-based organization, isn't it?
It sure is, absolutely. I mean, the word God is first in our name, and it's first in everything we do. If you are a faith-based person and you want to know, we had 65 women last year. To date, I guess it was about a month ago, 65 women accepted Christ into their lives. It makes a massive difference. We've talked about this on your show before, but we actually have a seminar they go through that we call Restore You. We do it on site now with our new building, and we take them through all kinds of things, including personal finances. They go through a bunch of different training classes, all within a day. But one of the things we try to do for sure is connect them with somebody that can kind of help them through this phase in their life. Because we realize there are a lot of people that may not actually ever come out of the situation they're in, but most of the women that by the time they get through our vetting process and we've talked to them, most of those women are really trying to get out of that place they're in. And we know that reliable transportation, especially in Houston, Texas, is the major factor to help them become more capable to go get a job, keep a job, get their kids to school, grocery store. So, yeah, Jeff.
Well, Brett, you've got the women going through the program, and they've accepted Christ in their life, and they're going through the program to benefit from that. Do they also sometimes become mentors for the next group coming in?
Yeah, we've had a few of them. We actually, it's kind of funny. You would normally think, they're gonna help mentor. We've had a couple of them go in the shop and work on cars.
Oh, cool.
Because they actually have that skill set, which has been really neat. But yeah, I mean, I think it takes some time. We did the Texas Bucket List. We were on that show. If you've seen that show,
Sure,
yeah.
And we had a lady on there that had come through the program years ago, and she's still doing wonderfully. She works for an insurance agency. She has a great job, and it still moves her to talk about that time in her life. And she did a really nice job of helping out some of the other women that were coming through at that phase. But the biggest thing they learn isn't so much that you've got somebody there that's been there and done that. It's that they look around the room and they say, I'm not alone. Yeah. Because that's the factors that they feel. A lot of them feel a sense of failure, and they've gotten themselves in this situation. And then they look around the room and there's a whole bunch of women in there that just are in the same place they're in. So we just basically love on them. We do what we can to connect them to other folks that'll be part of their family, and of course they've become part of our family at the same time.
And it's a local organization. It's godsgarage.org. Brad, it's always great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Brad.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, guys.
You're good.
You're always
starting
good.
to develop a pattern, aren't I? But
Yeah,
Well, we've got links on our social media to your webpage as well.
thanks. Well, the house is about done down here in San Leon, so
we'll be down there to celebrate.
Yeah.
see you
Christen
guys
it.
soon.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
And hey, Merry Christmas and God bless you and take care.
Thank you. Merry
Thanks,
Christmas. God bless you guys, too.
Thank you. All right, time now for the events calendar. Conrad, I know that you've got that right there on the top of your stack of things to talk about.
So Saturday, January 20th, Rudy's Tomball presents Fire Up Car and Truck Show, and that's at the Rudy's Barbecue on Highway 249 just south of Tomball. Stephanie Nichols' 13th Annual Car and Plane Show at the Georgetown Airport.
Oh,
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be, yeah.
Houston Cars and Cocktails New Year's Eve Party at Little Woodrow's in Tomball.
Yeah. Line up the Ubers.
Yeah, really. The 11th Annual Rouse Rock and Rides at the Gupton Stadium. That's March 2nd.
Say, where is that?
In Gupton.
In Gupton.
You left
at the
out a
stadium.
couple of consonants in that word there.
Yeah, well, Gupton could be this, whatever. Go ahead.
And then Saturday, April 11th, CCA Honda Acura at the Conclave at the Killeen Special Event Center. So it's kind of just a Honda and Acura show. January 14th, Savage Sunday Exotic Car Show in the Heights at the Heights Social in Houston. And then finally, Classic and Coffee Cars meet at the Hunger Crush Cafe here in Houston on March 2nd.
All right.
Cool.
Mr. Mars has a review of the Ford F-350 dually. You have 4 minutes, and the clock is running. Go.
TikTok.
The 2023 model Ford F-350 Limited Crew Cab with four-wheel drive represents this is the beginning of the fourth gen of the Super Duties that coming out of Ford. You can get this particular truck in 6 trim levels: XL, XLT, Lariat, King Ranch, Platinum, Limited. All of 5, other than the XL, they all come with four-wheel drive. It's a big truck. We had the Limited, obviously, so this is a full-size crew cab, dual rear-wheel drive. Carries 5 passengers very nicely. Up front, you're going to find that it's got a new revised grille, and what it does, because it's the dual rear-wheel drive model, has more airflow coming through it. It's what needs a little more juice because it needs for the towing that it's going to do. It's got heated tow mirrors that extend out from the side. You can extend them out whenever you're carrying a big load. LED lighting all around. It's got power deployable running boards. They're quick. You walk up to it, and they're out before you actually get there and need to step on them. Got a 2-panel sunroof on the inside of it, which basically opens up the whole inside of the cab. We had the sliding bed cover. We had a bed step on the side of the bed. We had a corner step on the bumper. We had a powered tailgate, a tailgate step. We got all kinds of things on this vehicle. And on the inside, this is where I really was surprised to find, it has got a 2-tone leather interior seating because this is the limited edition. The front seats are heated and ventilated. The rear seat is a fold-up, but the outboard seats on it are actually heated. And underneath it, there's this really nice storage. And it has a flat floor in that rear seating area. And there's a nice storage rack there, but it folds back so that if you wanted to, you could open up that whole thing, and you could actually put a bed back there, I think.
You could sleep back there
Exactly.
underneath the seat.
Now, up front, you're going to find a 12-inch digital instrument cluster, so it's got all your readout there for the driver. Got a heads-up display to go along with that. Got a 12-inch touchscreen in the middle of it. You're going to find all your nav, your convenience controls, the 360-degree camera there, your Forward Sync 4, and your controls for your 18-speaker Bang & Olufsen audio system.
I'm ready for the price.
Now, up under the hood, to make this thing go, you have a couple of options. We had the 6.7 Power Stroke. Now, as a note, that you can get this in two different versions. The standard is 475 horsepower with 1,050 pound-feet of torque. Or you can get the high output Power Stroke 6.7 that has 500 horsepower, 1,200 pound-feet of torque.
Oh, my God.
I went through the spec sheets. I could find no difference, bore, stroke, timing, to where they came up with that other magic. 25 sub-tuner.
Boost and fuel.
Yeah, computers did that. Now, it's backed with a 10-speed transmission. This vehicle is rated with a gooseneck, properly equipped, the vehicle, 35,000 pounds that you can tow. Now, you can put 8,000 pounds in the bed of this thing. Now, they've done a lot of things. Let me tell you this, though. Bumper, which amazed me, 28,200 you can tow off of the bumper. It's ridiculous. It's a 1-ton type vehicle, so they don't really give you an EPA rating, but I will tell you, across the 177.8 careful miles that I drove this vehicle, I got 13.2 miles per gallon.
Actually, that's
how many times did you curb it because it was so wide?
The guy that delivered it curbed it, and I didn't have to. One of the great things about this thing I really found, because they've done a lot of things. I printed out a whole sheet here that goes along with this truck to help you because of the size of this vehicle. It has an onboard scaler, so if you start putting weight in the bed, it can tell you how much weight you got in there, so you know how much more you can put in there, so you don't overload it. It's got you can put in the computer the size and the weight of the trailer, and it'll compute the load balance after you've got it all hooked up and make sure you've got a balanced load on this thing before you even leave.
That's pretty high tech.
It's got some serious tech on it. And when you get out on the road power-wise, I mean, it's a diesel, and it's a Power Stroke, and it's smooth, and the 10-speed transmission shifts just slick as butter. And you going down the road, you're king of the road. You really feel like you are, and he's got a great field of view on the way this thing is laid out.
Get out of the way because it's wide.
It is. And all the controls are within reach. Got a lot of auxiliary switches that you can use for upfitting. It's really, this truck is made to do what this truck is doing. Now, I will tell you, the base model Super Duty XL starts at $50,710. Starts. Now, the base trim price for this particular vehicle, best I could calculate and find on the Ford site, is $99,165.
Oh, of course it is.
To start with.
Pre-production, so I did not have a Monroney to nail down an exact price.
Guessing it would be...
I would say around 111, 112. You know, it's a little bit cheaper than the Raptor, but I mean, and that's just a wild guess.
Yeah.
If you're going to compare it to something, you might look at the 23 GMC Denali 3500, which I found started at 91.7, and then the 2023 Ram Limited 3500. Again, big trucks, dualies, starts at 91,000. So they're all, when you get up into that category of heavy-duty truck, do you want to do some serious towing, you got to figure you're going to spend 90 plus.
This program is available 24/7 on iHeart Radio. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. 30-minute podcasts are on your favorite podcast provider. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest
and the original charm that help make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 of the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.